Hey everybody, welcome to the 14 leadership traits. I am Gunny J. Now, get ready to learn something tonight. This is one of my favorite leadership traits. And for some of you, it may even blow your mind how important this leadership trait is, even though it's near the last of the list. So where does this word loyalty come from? Let me put this up first. There we go. Where does this word loyalty come from? Loyalty comes from a French word meaning legal. And although there's no legal contract between you and somebody else, there's a huge social contact. And the implications of not filling the social contract are really huge. And I'm going to give you a brief background on why this is such a big deal. So before I even get into the teaching, I'm going to have another little mini teaching. So basically in your brain housing group, there's four basic chemicals, but there's two chemicals that we're concerned with today. And those are serotonin and oxytocin. Serotonin is like the leadership chemical. It governs who's alpha and it reinforces alpha behavior. Oxytocin is a pack chemical. It reinforces the pack mentality. Human beings are a pack animal when it gets down to it. Yeah, I know introverts and there's shy people and there's people that don't. But the bottom line, human beings like belonging to something. Something bigger than themselves. And when they belong to something bigger than themselves and that something has an impact, what happens is there's huge oxytocin releases, which reinforces that behavior. It's not like dopamine or endorphins, which are more of a selfish chemical. These two chemicals, serotonin and oxytocin, are unselfish chemicals. About the only way I can put it. They're powerful. They're extremely powerful, and they reinforce behavior. And I'm going to give you a little example. So, here you got little Johnny, and he graduates from kindergarten. You tell the teacher what a marvelous teacher she was. You know that Johnny was a handful, but she did such a good job with him. And your teacher gets a serotonin boost. Well, what does that do? It reinforces her behavior of helping kids. It reinforces her as an alpha of that class, of that little tribe of hers, right? And then as Johnny walks across the stage, he gets his little kindergarten diploma. When that happens, oxytocin's released. Johnny gets an oxytocin release. The teacher that taught him and the teachers that supported him, the support element, get an oxytocin release. And the parents get an oxytocin release. And what that does is that makes that pack, that tribe, more cohesive. It reinforces that behavior of studying, and it makes the family unit more cohesive. It makes the kindergarten class more cohesive. It makes the teaching staff more cohesive. How does that relate to loyalty? Well, we're going to talk about something. I'll keep this PG-13. Let's talk about Tiger Woods. For those of you who don't know, Tiger Woods is a professional golf player. And at one point in time, he was up there on the leaderboards. I mean, he was it. He's still outstanding, don't get me wrong. But I mean, he was like tens of thousands of fans, if not hundreds of thousands of fans, maybe millions, I don't know. Huge endorsement deals, everything. So here's the problem. He wasn't loyal to his fans, right? So his fans are feeding him serotonin. They're all part of this Tiger Woods collective. So there's a lot of oxytocin going around. So he has a very solid fan base, very much an influencer. And because of that, that means he got a lot of his deals and everything. That means his golf game was on top of the world. Life was going good. Now, where the loyalty broke down was that he built himself as this really good, nice guy. And he wasn't. He was not this good guy that he set himself out to be. Remember, in leadership, we always say, do you. Always be true to who you are. Willie Nelson has a huge fan base. Maybe not the best role model. Snoop Dogg has a huge fan base. But he's true to himself. And the reason why he can keep that fan base is because he's not breaking any social contracts. He is loyal to who he is and to his fans. He represents himself honestly. Tiger didn't. And when it came out that he was the bad boy of golf, he lost a lot of his endorsement contracts. His golf game went down the tubes because now he's not being fed serotonin, so he's not at that high level of performance. And he lost his fan base, or a good portion of that fan base, because they can't trust him now. It wasn't a moral decision of what he did was wrong. It was a loyalty decision of who he portrayed was not who he was. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So how does this work in your online business? Well, in your online business, you're going to have to be loyal to your fans. That means you're going to have to portray who you are. You're going to have to do you, right? So if you do you, right, our 3 build, engage, and sell, the 3 basics of online marketing, if you do you, if you build a tribe, if you build an audience, what will happen is you'll get that serotonin boost from your audience. And then as you compliment people and post pictures, MLSP is really good about that. People, affiliate marketers who rise in level of leadership and commissions and so on like that, they post them. They get serotonin hits. There's oxytocin releases, which firms up the pack, and you got a loyal following. The minute you don't portray who you are, the minute that you've heard that term, fake it till you make it, that's the best way to go down the tube that there is. Because just like Tiger Woods, if you portray yourself as something, when you're not that, you break that social contract, and your loyalty comes into question. So that is why loyalty is one of my most favorite leadership traits. And we're going to get into it here in a second. Is because without loyalty, there's no social contract and there's no repercussions. So loyalty forms that social contract, and it has social repercussions if you don't fulfill that contract. So let's do a quick review before we get started. Right? Our acronym is JJ did tie buckle, justice, JJ, judgment, did, dependability, initiative, and decisiveness. JJ did, tie, tact, integrity, and enthusiasm, right? Buckle, bearing, unselfishness, courage, knowledge, loyalty is where we're at. We only got one more left in the list. You have to stay tuned and find out what that is. Those are our 14 leadership traits. Those are the traits that we have to have in order to be leaders. You cannot management of an online business is one thing, but if you're in network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing, where you're building an audience, engaging an audience, and selling an audience, yes, you have to know how to manage, but more importantly, you're going to have to know how to lead. And I just showed those, and I forgot to bring up the there's my slide. Man, I am so sorry, but justice, judgment, dependability, initiative, decisiveness, tact, and integrity, enthusiasm, bearing, unselfishness, courage, knowledge, loyalty. Cool. So let's take a look at the definition of loyalty. Loyalty means that you are devoted to your company and to your seniors, your peers, your subordinates. You got a strong feeling of support or allegiance. The motto of the Marine Corps is Semper Fidelis, always faithful. Unwavering loyalty up and down the chain of command, seniors, subordinates, and peers alike. And we'll get into a little bit because you can take loyalty too far, right? In a way, you can take loyalty too far. Let's handle it right now. If you're in imminent danger, or if somebody's breaking legal rules, they're breaking the law, do you have to be loyal? No, they've already broke that social contract of integrity and justice and judgment. No, cut your loyalty off. The company I work for, I'm loyal to. The minute I don't feel loyal to it, I'm going to stop working for them. It's that simple. Because loyalty is more important to me, and the ability to be loyal is more important to me than any company. So what can you do to improve your loyalty? Well, to improve your loyalty, you should show your loyalty by never discussing problems of the Marine Corps or of your company with your unit or with outsiders. You keep things internal that need to be internal. Even between friends, loyal friends discuss their problems between each other, and they only bring in a third party when that breaks down. If you start going behind somebody's back and not discussing it directly with them, you lose your integrity, your decisiveness isn't that good, you lose your dependability, and your friendship will break down because you're showing disloyalty. You're breaking that social contract. And you don't talk about your seniors unfavorably in front of your subordinates. Once the decision is made and the order is given to execute it, you carry it out, that order willingly, as if it was your own. If you can't do that, if you can't remain loyal to that, then you need to check up from the neck up, and you need to find a different place to work, or a different company to be with, or a different business to start. It's all that simple. Loyalty can build your organization till it's a strong, solid organization, whether in network marketing, direct sales, home-based business, whether you're a brick and mortar business, loyalty with your customers. All that stuff is so extremely important to carry out business. If they're giving you money, then there should be a recompense. You should have that integrity behind you in order to be real, to do you. If they're buying into the Gunny J, what you see is what you get. An old Marine, with a little bit of a belly, that's what you get. 20 years in the Corps, many years leading and in different capacities. Man, what you see is what you get. I don't try to be anything else. I'm not going to have in my social media marketing. I'm not going to rent a Lamborghini and draw all my money out of the bank and throw it on the bed and rent a model, take a photo with. That's not me. That's not who I am, and people see through that. So you got to quit portraying that you're something more than you are. You are what you are. You'll build your audience. They'll get behind you. You'll get those serotonin hits. That oxytocin will start flowing. You'll start forming a pack. Your audience will be loyal to you, and you got to show loyalty to them. So that's what I got today. If you're going to be loyal, if you're going to have a following, you have to lead. You cannot manage it. They're two different skill sets. All right. We'll see you tomorrow with the last installment of the 14 Marine Corps leadership traits. Gunny is out.